They take the job to help people, but often end up needing help themselves. In our final installment of Emergency Responders and PTSD, we tell you the story of one firefighter who struggled with post-traumatic stress disorder and how he wants to see changes. Stephanie Villella has the story.
You know, every call you go to, you dread getting on the truck because you have flashbacks and relive the whole situation.
Prince Albert firefighter Jeff Reeder took a year and a half off work because he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder.
You kind of, I guess, naive of thinking that it's going to get better on its own, and it doesn't. It snowballs until a point where you reach your breaking point.
That breaking point led Reeder to considering suicide. He tried everything to get back to his normal self, taking medication and going for counseling, but nothing was working. He says speaking to a professional wasn't helping.
You spend so much time reliving it and hashing up that you just say, forget it.
Reeder says there are too many hoops to jump through before getting the treatment you need, waiting too long before getting professional help, and constantly having to relive your traumas to multiple psychiatrists. And the fire department's debriefing counselor agrees with Reeder. She says it's hard enough to admit you have a problem.
When they finally make that call, they don't want to hear a voice telling them, well, I can get you in 2 weeks. I don't need it in 2 weeks. I need it today, tomorrow at the latest.
SALMOND says having someone to talk to while waiting for professional help is crucial, whether that be with a peer or a debriefing counselor such as herself. She says all the different agencies, fire, police, paramedic, all have to work together to make sure there's always help available when an emergency worker is struggling. And once professional help is available, she says it will only work if the change to get better comes from within.
It takes time, and people aren't willing to take that time to get better. People need to look after themselves, first and foremost.
When Reeder realized that speaking to a professional wasn't helping, he took matters into his own hands and started working with horses.
They feed off of your stimulus, so if you're agitated, they're going to react that way. So I may be able to lie to a person, but I can't lie to a horse.
6 years later, Reeder still volunteers his time at the farm. He says he doesn't have to relive his trauma with horses. He says having PTSD was the hardest thing he ever had to overcome, that more education and awareness is needed around the mental illness in order for those struggling with it to get the right help right away. Stephanie Villella, CTV News, Prince Albert.